All right, welcome to the Webinar to Win series. It's good to have you all here with us today. Darin Adams, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Cam Bam. How are you?
Oh man, I am fantastic too, and I would expect nothing less of that than you. You are an amazing man. How's life?
Life can't get any better. I mean, this is the great time of year as we're wrapping up summer and getting into fall, and who doesn't love fall? It's like the great time, and yeah, it's life's good.
Good. I'm glad to hear. I am so happy to have you on with us today. For those of you who have kind of been consistent with our Webinar to Win series, we always trying to find great companies to partner with on these. And I don't know if there is a better one out there than Infusionsoft. We are advocates. We are huge fans. I love the guys over at Infusionsoft, and Darin Adams is probably one of my favorite guys over there. So it's a pleasure to have him on with us today. If you're new to the Webinar to Win series, we always do. We try and bring the best content from great top, thought leaders on marketing and sales and in those areas. So it's good to have Infusionsoft on with us today. The format for today, Darin's going to kick us off, and he's going to talk to us about how to attract, sell, and wow customers. And then we'll jump in a little bit and give you some great observations of metrics and what things you should be measuring, of which we have actually built into the Infusionsoft platform. So we're excited about that. But Darin, why don't you kick it off for us?
Fantastic. Cameron, did you ever, you're like so much younger than I am. Did you ever watch any TV episodes of the Jetsons, the cartoon, the futuristic cartoon thing, George Jetson?
Of course I did. I love the Jetsons.
Okay. It actually wasn't on that long. I was thinking it was on like a really long series. I think it was only on like one season or something. But I loved the Jetsons because everything was set in the future in this cool futuristic thing where, Rosie the maid she'd just go up and you'd push buttons and things would automatically happen, and George would just pop into some elevator chute and get propelled automatically off to work, and everything just happened automatically, and there was no thought process in doing stuff. And the mundane stuff was just automated for you. I used to think, oh, that would be the coolest thing when that happens. And then I've sort of realized that in many aspects, we are sort of in that time period now. There are so many things we can do now just automatically. Your phone does a lot of stuff automatically. You can program your thermostat to go up and down automatically. There are a billion different things. But we've also discovered that there are a lot of things that we can do in business to automate business success. So for people who are struggling out there and doing the same stuff over and over and saying, most of my day consists of sending the same emails out to people, doing the same follow-up to the same people. It's drudgery. And so in my mind, I picture what would the world look like if the Jetsons would have been entrepreneurs, if they wanted to automate and put on autopilot and program into Rosie the maid all the things that they could do. And I think it sort of boils down to a little bit of what Infusionsoft has been able to bottle. So we're going to walk through some of that. Before I get in that, Cameron, I'm just trying to think. I'm guessing you have a doctor you go to, right, Cameron?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you remember when you were picking out your doctor? Do you remember, was it, was it, I'm guessing you picked it out. Did your wife pick it out or did you pick it out? I probably should ask.
Like 10 times smarter than me. So yes, my wife picked our doctor.
Well, so here's the deal. When you go to see a doctor, it's not necessarily someone that you like, because there are lots of doctors I like, but I don't go to them. And it's not even someone that I mean, there's a doctor in the neighborhood I know. I don't go to him because I know him, and I don't go to doctors because I like them. I go to a doctor because I trust the doctor. And I mean, I had some guy over yesterday do some landscaping work. I know lots of landscapers that I know. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to hire them. I know landscapers that I like. Doesn't mean I'm going to hire them. But these guys from, I don't know, they're actually down in Utah County where you guys are, like Shade Landscape Nursery or whatever. But I trust them. The guy was even talking, he's like, I don't know about this. I said, I just trust you. You can do whatever you want because I trust you. So we go to people that we know, like, and trust. So if you're building a business, it is not just a matter of getting people to know who you are and what you can do. It's not even getting them to like you or what you can do. It really is developing trust. And the problem is, in today's day and age, people are bombarded with so many things, they don't know who to trust. Go to that next slide there, Cameron. This is one of my favorite slides. This is Heinz Field, giant football stadium where they play football. Huge, multi-bajillion-dollar stadium they put in there, and the most gorgeous scoreboard there at the end. Those ketchup bottles on the side, they actually animate and they tilt and ketchup pours out, and there's some really fun stuff. The problem is on that scoreboard, as you look at that scoreboard, do you know what the one thing is that's, maybe you've even seen this before, Cameron, you might know the answer. Do you know one thing that's missing from that scoreboard?
Well, I don't really see a score. I see time.
Exactly. There's a clock on there, like 22 minutes, and I don't know, I can't even read. But you're bombarded with so many different messages nowadays. This is an example of what our life is like. We want to find the score. We're looking for one small little nugget, and we are hit with so many different things, all these different messages coming from all different areas, that it is hard for us to find the information that we want. So what we need to do is get people the score, get people the message, and do it in a way so that they can trust us, so that they're not overwhelmed by the pouring ketchup bottles and all the commercials and the advertisements and the video replays. People are looking for information, they're looking for help, and a bunch of entrepreneurs out there, a bunch of people listening to the webinar today have the solution and have the answer. And so we have to cut through all that clutter and deliver the one message that they're wanting. So we do that through giving information, building trust, through email campaigns, finding out what people want, being able to get reports on what they're interested, what they're clicking on, what's of most interest to them, what the solution is, and then being able to provide that. So you can go to the next segment, we're at the next little slide. We're going to boil this down into what we call attract, sell, and wow. And as mentioned to Cameron a second ago, we're going to talk about how we can attract better, how we can sell better, how we can wow better. You can go to the next slide, and there's just one more thing I'd like to remind people. There are two parts that go into being successful. There are the tools and there's the process. If you needed to build a house, someone can give you plans for a house. You could find a great design online. You could go to a workshop, someone could teach you, but you still need the hammer and the saw. So a lot of times in a webinar or a class or an event you go to, they tell you about the process and they teach you that. But today I want to teach you both the tools and the process, how they work together. Infusionsoft is the tool, and depending on what your process is, you can apply that to be successful. So we're going to walk through tools and process to be success as we learn how to attract and sell and wow. So you can go to the next one. We'll just recap: attract, sell, wow, and we're going to start with attract. You can bump one more and we'll jump into attract. Attract is the whole idea of bringing people to your database. And we can indeed resume the slideshow. Just kidding there, Cameron, making sure you're awake there. I make things pop up just to make sure you're on your reflexes.
Thank you.
Cameron, give me an idea. You guys at Griffin Hill, you guys have a database, right?
Yes, we do.
And there are thousands of people in that database. Who exactly is in that database? Are there customers? Are there prospective customers? People you've encountered? What kind of mix is in there?
Yeah, we have the whole gamut, right? We've got customers, we've got prospects, and we have people who we would consider as, suspects, people who might not know who we are, but who we hope to. So trying to engage with them as well.
That's exactly the idea. That's why you guys are masterful, is you understand this. The idea today is to attract people to this database, and it doesn't matter who they are or what they're interested in. You can tag them, you can do different things on them, but you want to make sure that you get as many people into that database. If there's an entrepreneur, business owner out there who doesn't have a database, they are wasting their time and spinning their wheels. In 2017, this is how business is done in the digital age, is acquiring a database and managing that database. You can click it one more time, because we're going to break down this into 3 different areas. The attract we're going to target people, we're going to attract interest, and collect leads. targeting is the whole idea of knowing exactly what someone is interested in and being able to target. So Cameron, I'll pick on you a little bit more here. You mentioned you have some prospects and some suspects, and do you have those people tagged somehow so you know that they're interested and they're prospects? Do you know where you met them? Do you know what they've clicked on? What kind of information? I shouldn't pry too much into your database, but what kind of stuff do you find helpful in allowing you to target people?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. We do. We tag them in our Infusionsoft account to make sure that we know. So for example, we just did 2 different conferences like back to back, and then we've got 2 more coming up. Well, all of those people are usually interested in some similar topic, but I want to be able to speak to them different. So I even tag them at the show. So I'll tag them that I met them at this show and they stopped by my booth, or you know, I met them because, or we got their name because the conference they opted into be solicited by other sponsors. So I can tag them in that detail even at that show.
And the point of that then, this is for everyone's listening, the reason they do that is so that then Cameron can target them knowing what they're interested in and how he encountered them and how they said, I want information on this, or I need some help in this. So in your own businesses, as you're picturing that, picturing a giant picture of your database, and now what information would it be helpful for you to know about those people? Are they past customers? Are they prospective customers? Did you meet them at a trade show? Did they listen to you on a webinar? How did you encounter them? What are they interested in? What kind of business? As you're able to tag them, and you do that inside your Infusionsoft database, you can then target them with future communication so that you can serve them and help them get the answers that they want. I'm going to jump to the next little circle on there, which says attract interest. Oh, no, Cameron, not, yeah, exactly. Don't hold your horses there. Attract interest is the idea of somehow offering something. We call it sometimes like a lead magnet, some kind of free opt-in gift. So if you were, for example, Sweet Tooth Fairy, and you've got a cupcake shop, and you could then offer on your website, hey, come, give me your email address and I'll send you a coupon for a free cupcake. You can come in and get a free cupcake on us. If you're a business coach, you say, hey, I just came out with this new book. I'd love to give you the first chapter for free. Give me your email address and I'll email you an e-chapter from my book. Maybe you're a coach of some other sort, and hey, I'll give you a free assessment, and give me your email address and I'll give you a little quiz. There are even some great businesses, Quizzer, Dialogue, other programs that even let you do this through gamification. So, you know, there's a car dealership. I'm going to give you a little quiz and we'll find the perfect car for you. So which of these car movies have you seen? Which of these favorite cartoon cars is your favorite, or whatever? And it's just a total fun way. So it can be fun, it can be serious, it can be free product, but something you need to offer something for free in exchange for someone's email address. And then as they enter that in through an opt-in form on your website or social media or something, that name will immediately go into your Infusionsoft database. What you've promised them immediately gets emailed out to them. But the best part about it is that you have to have a strategy. You're not going to make money giving out free cupcakes or free ebooks or free assessments. You make the money from doing the follow-up. And so you have follow-up emails built into it so that another email goes out, a follow-up email goes out, etc. And then the whole idea is to collect the leads. You're doing that to grow your database. And I'm getting way behind here, Cameron. So I'll keep moving on. But that's the whole idea about attracting, getting people into your database. You build a great Infusionsoft database, tag people through your Infusionsoft tools, automatically offer them free gifts and offer opportunities, and know what they're interested in so you can serve them and help them and grow your database. Okay, I think we've done attract enough, right? Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, now you can push that button. There you go. I heard the click. It was great. The next idea is to sell. And this Unfortunately, this is where most of us think where the majority of business is. And we sometimes overlook that whole first part, the attract part, because this is all we're focusing on is the sell part. Sell is going to break down and have 3 different areas. You can click it one more time and we'll show you the 3 different areas that make up sell. You have to educate your people, you have to make the right offer, and you have to close. And of all of these, the one that by far takes the most time, unfortunately, is educate. The first time Cameron comes up to me and says, hey, you know, Griffin has some great tools to help you be better in your business. He's absolutely true, but guess what? I know nothing about him or what he has to offer, and I'm not whipping out my credit card and saying, okay, sign me up, I'm going to be a new customer, because I know nothing about it. But little by little, he starts educating me and teaching me. If you, if you're a plumber and you want to unclog people's drains or something, the first time they encounter you or see an ad on Facebook or whatever, they're probably not going to click on the thing. But maybe you say, hey, I've got some great tools for helping you keep your drains flowing freely. Here's a homemade method, or here are the worst things to put down your drain, or whatever it might be. Maybe you're an entrepreneurial online digital selling e-commerce kind of stuff. The first time people see that product, they might not be ready to buy. But if you can educate them and say, here's what it is, here's how it can help you, and little by little you do that. This is the whole idea of that scoreboard and building the trust. The whole trust building comes in through this education process. As you then drip on people through drip campaigns and funnels, little by little, those people learn and have trust in you, realize how you can help them, and then they get to the point where they say, oh yeah, this is the best thing of all. And so that's the whole idea behind educate. And Infusionsoft lets you build unbelievable, robust campaigns to really educate people. And depending on what they're clicking on, different follow-ups can happen and different information. If people are reading a lot of your information, opening a lot of your emails, consuming a lot of your education, then you know that they're really interested and you can move that along. The next thing is offer. Just by in your Infusionsoft database, you can know what someone is interested in. So you don't need to make the same offer to everybody in your database. If you are a hardwood floor refinisher and you have all sorts of, maybe you put in install new hardwood floors and maybe you refinish hardwood floors and you can refresh or whatever kind of, maybe you have a whole bunch of different services. You don't want to send the same offer to everybody on your database. But if you can track these people are new construction and they need new hardwood floors installed. These people have lived in their home for 10 years and they need to have their floors resealed or whatever. So now you can have different offers going out to different people at different times. So you can track that inside your Infusionsoft database, and then the close can just happen. You can say, hey, I know it's been 10 years since you last had your floor done. We got a great deal right now, 25% off. Give me a call before this Friday and we'll be able to hook you up. So there you can, once again, automate this whole, this is Rosie the robot doing all this stuff for you, and the deals just sort of magically come in. Okay, we'll click to the one last one, the wow. This is the third phase of growing a business, and one that I think people overlook the most. This is the idea of getting referrals and testimonials and upsells and growing your business from your existing customers. You've done a lot of work to get that customer, so use them to help grow your business. You can click it again and we'll show you the 3 different things of wow. To deliver and wow, offer more, get referrals. Make sure that the service that you're delivering will make somebody say wow, regardless of what it is. If you're mailing them an actual product, could you put something else free in? Could you put a little extra coupon in? Could you handwritten note or something? But something so that someone says, wow, nobody else does that. Offer something more. Maybe you're a dentist and you've got people coming in. Can you offer, hey, here's an Oral-B electric toothbrush. Hey, here's some teeth whitening product. Here's some better manual toothbrushes. Here's some better floss or whatever it might be. Find something else that you can offer that maybe you don't currently offer, but your customers need, and find a way to offer that to them. And the beauty of this, if you're doing this digitally, you can automatically have the offers go out right when they need to. Maybe you're selling supplements. some kind of nutrient supplements. If someone buys a 3-month supply, you know at 2 months and 3 weeks, they're going to be needing to get a refill. So you have an automated email go out, give them an opportunity to sign up, and you automate all that. And then the last part is get referrals. You need to be automatically asking for referrals and testimonials from everybody who you do business with. One of my favorite companies, company called So Tell Us. If you like something, so tell us. If you liked our service, so tell us. Excuse me. So Tell Us, you can automate through your Infusionsoft an email to go out and says, hey, did you like what we did for you? We fertilized your yard. Did you like how great your lawn was this year? If so, can you give us a referral? Would you want to give us a written or a video? And they say, well, video is way easier. They say, okay, just push this button. And you push a button on your phone, and those people could record a video testimonial for you. It would be that quick, and all of a sudden now your website is full of testimonials. So you just automated the ask. You used a tool like So Tell Us, but you automated the asking of it, so you didn't have to do it. So that sort of summarizes the attract, the sell, and the wow. And the beauty of it is this is how the Jetsons would do the business nowadays. If the Jetsons were entrepreneurs, they would be putting all this stuff on autopilot so that they don't manually have to do it. We'll do one more little quick experiment. Cameron, you can click it one more time as people remember they got to attract, they got to sell, they got to wow. I got a little gift I want to send to someone. Now this gift, it's fine, it's wonderful, and I've never done this on a webinar, so I don't know how it's going to work. So you can just do it at home, and we'll see how it works. So I got a little ebook. So you can click that button to see the ebook. This is a book on the small business guide to growing an email list. So everybody could use the information from here. Some of the information you might know, some of the information you might not know. But what we're going to do, the way I want to show you how you could do this. So if you want to, wherever you are, you're in your office, you're at home, you're in your car, whatever, pull out your phone and you're going to send me a text. Now this is a tool that you can use to let you automate whatever it is you're doing. So Cameron, you can click it one more time. If you send me a text, 480-428-4150, and just text the word Hill for Griffin Hill. So when I get your text, I can see, yeah, they were on the webinar I did with Griffin Hill. So I'm gonna send them that ebook on Small Business Guide to Growing an Email List. Now I want you, as you're doing this, I want you to picture how this would happen. As you send this text in, you're going to get a text back from me. This is what automation looks like in real life. It's going to look totally real because you're going to get a couple of texts from me. They're going to be going back and forth, and it will seem like a real person. And even if the person knows it's automated, it's the beauty of it, it's automated. So you can have people request to be part of your following if you want. You can monitor information about them. So this is how you can use something like a text to get people into your database, to learn how you can help and serve them by doing this. So if you're at home doing this right now and you're in the office or whatever, you'll get a couple of texts, and now you can see how you could use this same tool. Picture yourself being able to say to someone, maybe you're doing a live presentation and you say, hey, I've got this free blank, blank, blank. Or maybe you're doing a webinar and you say, I'd love to send you this blank, blank, blank. Send me a text. And everybody can pull out a phone and everybody can text in, and then this automatically can happen. So if you're not doing this at home, you can probably picture how it's happening. If you are doing this right now, you're actually seeing how the text can play out, and you can use this as a model for how you could do this yourself. So that's sort of Infusionsoft in a nutshell, showing you how you can attract better, how you can sell better, how you can wow better. And as you do so, you build the trust with the people who are considering doing business with you. If that trust level goes up, they cut through all the clutter of the other things on the scoreboard. They realize you are helping them, and you're the one who has the solutions for them. And then they do indeed trust you, and you're the one that they do business with. So that's Infusionsoft in a nutshell, Cameron. I don't know if you have anything to add on or your experiences from that.
Well, I think we're like 4 or 5 years now into Infusionsoft, and we love it. We don't just use it for our lead sourcing. That's a huge piece of it, but we actually also use it for fulfillment just because of the automation. Because of the automation tool, we're able to send out our coaching reminders and send out all of those to our customers, all of that's automated. So it's fun to have a robot. It's really fun.
Yeah, everybody should have their own Rosie the robot, shouldn't they?
They should. They really should. So we're huge fans of it. Now, look, one of the things I love, if you think about CRMs today, there's so many different options. But one of the things about the automation side, I mean, it gets so expensive to add in an automation tool to do those pieces for you. And so I love the way that Infusionsoft has kind of their competitive advantage. You get a CRM and the database side, but you get the automation as well. You get Rosie as well here, which I love what you guys are doing with that, and it's been a huge tool for us.
And yeah, so many people say, so are you? They come up and they say, like, are you a CRM? I'm like, yeah, we're a CRM. They say, what? Or do you send out emails here? I'm like, yeah, it's like everything all rolled into one. Your emails get sent out. There really should not be, in my mind, there shouldn't be all these different little separate components. This is just one large system that automates it all. You learn about your customers, you got emails go out to your customers, you integrate with social media. It just does everything that you need it to do, or integrates with businesses that do, including like QuickBooks or whatnot. So it's just one central way to do that. You mentioned, you can click the button twice more, and if people want to get in touch with me, you can click it. Well, yeah. Oh, I was going to show you. I have a free gift for people that want to sign up with Infusionsoft. This is really cool. MonkeyPod Marketing is. Cameron, do you know MonkeyPod? Have you ever heard of MonkeyPod Marketing?
I haven't. No.
Okay, honestly, I swear to you, it's going to be your new favorite friend. You got to go there. There's a lot of great free content. There's an Infusionsoft starter kit that they have that's sort of a low cost, but teaches people how to do stuff. For people that want to sign up with Infusionsoft, we're buying them an Infusionsoft starter kit. It's not an expensive thing. If you already have Infusionsoft, you should consider going to MonkeyPod Marketing and getting the Infusionsoft starter kit. This is part of a new little bonus that we have for people that want to sign up. And they're like 40 different little modules that'll teach you new ways to use Infusionsoft and do stuff. So it's a great tool. So if someone wants information, you can click that click one more button. There's my email address and phone number if people want to reach out to me. And you mentioned even the cost effectiveness of it. We now have Infusionsoft that is less than $100 a month. So I know a lot of people have always thought it's this huge big thing that's so expensive. Depending on your business and what you're looking for, we have really affordable packages. So for less than $99 a month, you can be up and running, having your own CRM, Rosie, all that kind of stuff, all the things that we were talking about, all the tools that you guys at Griffin Hill use, people can get for less than $100. So it's fantastic. Give me an email or shoot me an email or give me a call, and I'm happy to talk to someone more about that if that could help them too.
Awesome. Thank you, Darin. Really appreciate that. Kind of on par with that, one of the things that we have integrated into Infusionsoft is our metrics tool. And so I wanted just to, as you think about, getting Rosie embedded into your systems and then tracking the right things, right? Darin talked a little bit about that as well. But for us, the next piece is, hey, well, what's in your sales pipeline? So CRMs and tools do a great job of housing the data, but what happens is, it gets a little confusing once we try to get into the sales pipeline. And it's not that these tools, CRMs, they've got stages. Infusionsoft has sales stages that you can plug in, but you have to put them in. You have to know what your sales stages are. And so that's an important piece in any CRM you use, and in Infusionsoft to get that pipeline set up is an important aspect. And here's what we hear all the time. Oftentimes we'll have people tell us, I've got 500 people in my database, or they might have 10,000 people in their database, and they think that might be their pipeline. And then we drill down a little bit more. We ask them this question. Okay, so that's great that you've got that many people. How many next meetings do you have? And they say, well, okay, if we adjust our pipeline a little bit, it might look more like this. What those people who had 500, they might have 10% of that, that's kind of pretty standard. So 50 people or 30 people, or, out of 50, yeah, I've got 10. Well, that's great. Okay, so now let's adjust that one more time by these standards. How many scheduled next events do you have? How many you know the date, you know the location, you know the time, and there's an agenda, that a purpose that's mutually understood. How many events do you have that have all four of those things? And typically what we hear is, you know what, my true pipeline, I've got nobody. And occasionally you'll get some that have, you know, I've got two or three. But here's the problem. As humans, we perform to deadlines. And if we don't have those deadlines in place, now as salespeople, we're constantly trying to get those people back onto a scheduled next event, a next meeting. And so we kind of have this piece, you know, this oil reserve versus the Griffin Hill Integrity Cell System or the Griffin Hill pipeline. And so it's kind of like we're football season, and you shared about the Steelers a little bit, right, Darin? So I'll bring in some of our football analogies here. If you think about the football field, you gain ground by going 10 yards at a time. And each 10 yards, Darin, why do we care about 10 yards? What do we get?
First down.
We get first downs. And it's first downs that get us into the end zone. And so if we can get to those first downs and move the chains, that's what gets us to the end zone in football. Well, sales is no different. But sometimes for some reason, you know, we think we need to get in there, and if we're face to face, we've just got to ask them to buy. Or even through our emails, you know, in our emails, like Darin described, sometimes we just push out, hey, come buy from me, rather than a nurturing campaign that helps them to understand a little bit more about who you are, how you help people, and how to grow that. And so Griffin Hill, you can kind of see here in the background, we've got these case open, needs audit, solution presentation, adaptive solution, close, interactions, fulfillment. We've got a play set. We've got routines that help us gain these 10 yards at a time so that we can get into the end zone. Well, what starts to happen in the typical sales world is people are really good about tracking the activity, the number of calls they made, the attempts they made. In fact, we just went to a conference that was supposed to be all about sales. And you know what? I think we're the only people there that were talking about the pipeline, not about the marketing pipeline. And I don't know if that makes sense, but typically people are talking about, how do I get more leads? How do I get more, more SDRs so that I can get more scheduled meetings with my sales guys? And what they forget is that these account executives, they have a pipeline. They have the sales pipeline going on. And if we're not tracking how that flow is, how that velocity is moving, then we're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. And so this idea of what is it that you measure? And I love this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes, I believe, from Thomas Gilbert. Mistakes and decisions about goals are the single greatest cause of human incompetence. So this idea that we make goals around how many people are you going to call today? How many appointments are you going to have today if it's a sales guy? How many closes are you going to get? Well, that's great, but it's not about moving the chains. Appointments don't necessarily move the chains. It's the velocity. It's about making the next appointment happen. It's about scheduling that next event. And so what happens is we measure the wrong things. And as we measure the wrong things, it leads to the wrong behavior. And that's kind of the black hole conundrum. So we at Griffin Hill, we change this up by really focusing in on four things: process, plays, metrics, and coaching. And this metrics piece is the piece that really helps us to identify what's going on. So typically what happens, as I kind of mentioned, you get people measuring these leading indicators. Things like, oops, sorry, I thought it was right there. Attempts, contacts, dials, phone time. I mean, we measure all of these things and we think we're measuring the sales process. But it goes into this black hole of we don't know what's happening here. And then we measure the outcomes, the lagging indicators, number of closes, the revenue, things like that. But what we miss is the velocity. Well, what we do is at Griffin Hills, we measure this sales process. case open, needs audit, solution presentation, adapted solution, closing interactions, fulfillment, and follow-up. Each one of these stages has a specific goal, a specific purpose. Case open is about that first time we meet. What is it I say? What are my first 60 words? Needs audit is about understanding what it is they're trying to accomplish. And do we have solutions that match up against that? And then solution presentation, adapted solution, closing interactions is about offering compelling solutions that help these prospects now to be able to achieve what it was they needed. And then fulfillment and follow-up is about making sure that we give the things that we promised we would give. And that makes up our sales process. So there you go. The Griffin Hill difference is another important piece in here. So typically what we see from training is people engage in training and they'll see a spike in whatever it's about. So if this is a result and this is over time, they'll see a little spike here. But about 90 days later, they'll get back to that status quo of where they were before. Well, now we can, because we have system, we can measure different things. We measure 3 things. The first thing that we measure is productivity. And by focusing in on productivity, you see kind of how that switches, right? Times we have these highs and lows. And Darin, you've been in sales. So what is this? What if you're looking at sales and this is results and over time, what do you suppose these peaks are?
It could be like a big end of the month promotion because everyone focuses in. There's got to be some big push. Everybody gets in, and you see a little peak, and then it sort of falls off right after that, perhaps. That's
exactly right. As salespeople, we've got those quotas. We get to the end of the month, and we're like, man, I guess I better kick it in. Or even the end of the quarter, and it even looks even bigger. Man, I've got to really smash my quarter goals here, so I'm going to kick it in gear. And so what happens is we see these peaks and valleys. Well, by measuring now the velocity and the flow of the sales process, what we do and focusing in on that productivity is we normalize that curve. Once now we've normalized that curve, we look at how do we improve it with the same velocity. If I get the same number of leads into my Infusionsoft account, how do I close more business from those same amount of leads? Well, that's focusing in on the proficiency. Because we know what each stage looks like and we're tracking it through each stage, we know what stages we need to improve on. And so we can work on skill set. And what happens is that elevates the norm. And the third thing that we focus in on is the outcome, the performance outcomes, which now because we know through the whole process how to engineer our performance, well, we can really take control of those desired outcomes and see continuous growth. So that's the Griffin Hill difference: productivity, proficiency, and performance outcomes. That's what helps us to see what we see and what makes the big Griffin Hill difference. So that's how we get, just like I mentioned, that Griffin Hill difference. So pretty important things that we talk about here at Griffin Hill and that we measure. Now, the fun thing is that we've actually integrated our scorecard system, the ability to measure and track the productivity, proficiency, and performance outcomes. We've integrated that into great CRMs like Infusionsoft. So if you decide to make that purchase of Infusionsoft either today or at our conference coming up, which, by the way, Darin, we're going to come back to in just a second, we're going to make sure that we do that integration for free for you, that we connect our scorecard and your CRM to that, specifically Infusionsoft. So pretty powerful piece that we can be able to add on top of that. But like I said, like I just mentioned, SmartCon is coming up. And Darin, you're going to join us there, aren't you?
Woo! I am so looking forward to it. It's we're about a week away, right?
Yeah, like to the day, I think. Isn't it Thursday? Yeah, to the day. So it's a week from today. So some things that you could do. Look, you've already been able to go get your ebook, hopefully. You've also know that if you get signed up, you're going to get that subscription to, what was it called again? Your Infusionsoft setup guide. What website was that?
Yeah, so there's the, actually I realized I didn't have my thing set up for the free ebook. The thing for the free ebook is okay now. So if you text in that number, you can do that. And then Monkey Pod Marketing is the great resource for people to do.
Okay, perfect. So you want to make sure you go get those things, and you got to get that account to get your monkey pod. But some amazing gives there from Infusionsoft. And then today, look, if you've got sales questions that you're struggling with or thinking about, come talk to us. So email us in at support@Griffin Hill. We'll make sure that we'll get you set up with one of our guys to make sure we can help you achieve your sales goals, or just at least understand and give you advice and suggestions. The next piece is go get registered for SmartCon. We've made it easy this year. It is free. Huge give, great content going to be there. Go to smartcon.griffinhill.com to get registered. And the last piece, if you're interested on us coming in and doing a free coaching session on the importance of metrics and what things to focus on, we can even bring some good goal setting tips on that. Email us again at support@griffinhill.com or call us at 801-225-7000, and we'll get that free coaching scheduled for you. That's a $5,000 give as well. So look, good to be with you guys. If you have questions, feel free to shoot them in, and Darin and I will hang on for just a second. We didn't do a great job of asking for it, but if you want to submit some questions. But Darin, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. It's always fun to see my good friend Darin.
Well, you're not seeing me because we're not seeing each other, but I'm looking forward to seeing my good friend Cam Bam next week at SmartCon. So that's the highlight of, I was gonna say the highlight of my year, but I see you a few more times during the year. So it'll be the highlight of the quarter since I haven't seen you in a couple of months.
That's
looking
right.
forward to getting out and hanging out at SmartCon with you.
It's gonna be really fun. Well, cool. Hey, thanks so much, Darin. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure.
Okay, good to be with you all. Have a great rest of the week and weekend, and we'll see you next week at SmartCon.